Okay, so when you are working with images, obviously you're going to make the decision about whether your images are linked or embedded. If you choose to link them, obviously you must make sure that you manage them properly. So we have discussed this in a previous activity, but I'll just demonstrate this to you. If I go to the place where these images are on my computer and I delete one of those images, so let's take this one. If I delete that and switch back to Illustrator and I go to my links panel, you'll see that it says here, oh, I've lost that image. So it's really important that you don't mess with your images, that you leave them in the place that they were when you placed them until the end and until you prepare your document for archiving, which we'll cover at the end of this module. So I'm just going to put that image back again. Here it is here. Right click, put back, and now you can see that my document is happy again. So that's really important because this particular activity is about round tripping. You might not be able to do this at this stage if you don't have Photoshop, but you can just watch this and just take note of the process. So let's say that this background image here is one that I want to make some changes in Photoshop. Now, because the background image is embedded and not linked, if I wanted to make changes, I would have to take this image out of Illustrator. I would have to make changes and then I would have to put it back in. So that's quite a few steps. So to get the image out of here, I'm going to click on Unembed and I'm just going to go to my desktop and I'm going to choose just to save it. I'll leave it as a Photoshop document and I'll just call it cover. Okay, so once I've got it out, I'm going to, you can see that now it's linked. So it basically linked it and saved it out of the document. So that's the equivalent of me having placed it if I saved it from Photoshop originally and chosen link. Okay, so there's link there. So now it's a linked document, which is really what I want. So the convenience of linking is that you can edit between Illustrator and Photoshop without having to go out of Illustrator, change something in Photoshop, and replace it in Illustrator. You can just round trip straight from Illustrator to Photoshop and back again. So this is the process, and you're just watching at the moment. You don't necessarily have to follow along if you don't have Photoshop. So I've got a linked background here. I want this background to be black and white. So with it selected, I'm going to go to this little button here in my links panel that says Edit Original. It's going to send the document to Photoshop. Here it is here. And notice the way it hasn't brought the transparency through because that transparency is in effect applied in Illustrator. And I'm then going to go to Image, Adjustments, and I'm going to say, I need to just check the image mode. Okay, it's CMYK at the moment. That's because I chose a print document, which means that some of the Photoshop effects are not available. But I'm just going to say desaturate, which removes all the color. I'm going to save it. And I'm going to switch back to Illustrator. And it says that image has changed, the linked image. Do you want to accept those changes? Yes, I do. And you can see that it automatically updates. So that's called round tripping. So sending a document to Photoshop, making some changes, saving it, you come back to Illustrator and it's saved and the changes are saved. So that is really the power of linked images as opposed to embedded images. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel and see you next time.